Today, we're diving into authentication, giving your app real user accounts. We'll set up registration, logins, and root protection using Flask-Login, so each user can have their own secure session. By the end, you'll have a system where content is only visible once someone is logged in. And just like with any login system, remember, always double check your setup and make sure it's secure before handling real user data. First, let's bring in the Flask-Login library, which makes authentication a lot easier. Then in our app, the login manager keeps track of who's logged in and automatically redirects people to the login page if they try to access something they shouldn't. To register users, we need a user model in our database. With SQL Alchemy, it might look like this. Instead of saving plain text passwords, which is a huge security risk, we hash them using these helpers. When a user signs up, we take their chosen password, hash it, and save it safely. Now let's actually build the register route that lets users create an account. This route handles both the form display, when the user visits or registers, and the form submission, when they click Create an Account. Once a user successfully registers, we automatically log them in and send them straight to their dashboard. Now for the login flow, when user submits their username and password, we look them up in the database, check the hashed password, and if it matches, we log them in using Flask-Login. Then, any route you want to protect can be wrapped with a decorator. And when the user logs out, with that, we now have sessions. Users can log in, access their own pages, and log out securely. Now let's make two small changes to improve the Auth flow. This configures a signed session cookie via a secret key and tells Flask-Login to redirect unauthenticated users to the login view. User mixin adds the Auth session helpers Flask-Login expects, and login manager.userloader tells Flask-Login how to rebuild current user from the session cookie on each request. You won't call secret key or user mixin directly. They're used behind the scenes when login user writes the session and when Flask-Login reloads the user for login required and current user. To test this, let's change the dashboard to use the current user. When editing, I noticed I had forgotten a few things. We don't have a root route, so when you navigate to just dash, you get a not found error. Having a root route with a redirect is really handy. Also, adding this code at the end makes it easier to start the app using just Python app.py. So today, we added user authentication to our Flask app. We set up Flask-Login, built a registration form with password hashing, created a login flow that checks those passwords securely, and used login required to protect routes like a dashboard. Of course, this is just the basics. In a real project, you'd also want things like CSRF protection, logout as a post, and maybe some validation for duplicate usernames. But for now, this gives you a working login system that you can build on. From here, take a little time to practice and dig deeper into what this library can do. Explore the docs, try small experiments in your app, and keep security in mind as you grow. Post your version in the comments, and in the next video, we'll take things further by building REST APIs in Flask so your app can share data with the outside world. I'll see you in the next dimension.